Ask 5 people on your team to describe your mission in 2 sentences, right now. Don't coach them, just listen. If you get 5 different answers, all true and none the same, I've got bad news and good news. The bad news is funders are hearing that too. The good news is it's fixable and it doesn't take a consultant. I'm Bruce Stapleton. I wrote the book Nonprofit Marketing Excellence to help small teams market like they've got a whole department. In the next 5 minutes, I'll show you one decision that stopped your team from telling 5 different stories, and that's choosing your message pillars. Let me tell you about a leader I'll call Michael. 15 years running a community arts nonprofit, great programs, loyal school partners, real impact. Then in his first big fundraiser meeting, he got the simplest question there is. So in 2 minutes, tell me, what does your organization do? And he froze. Programs, camps, art therapy, college prep, murals, a list with no thread. The funder's eyes glazed over. Here's what Michael figured out later. The work was never the problem. The words were. Without shared language, every staff member improvises, every grant proposal starts from a blank page, and every board conversation drifts somewhere new. What Michael needed wasn't a clever tagline, he needed message pillars. So let me show you exactly what these are and how to choose yours. Message pillars are 3 to 4 core themes that anchor everything you say about your organization. Not a slogan, but the load-bearing ideas underneath the slogan. Think of your pillars like a load-bearing walls of a house. You can redirect rooms, move furniture, repaint, but the walls still hold everything up. Your pillars let every program, every story, every ask connect back to one consistent identity, no matter who's doing the talking. The test of a real pillar is simple. A funder, a volunteer, a board member, and the person you serve should all recognize the same organization in your words. When they don't, you don't have a messaging problem, you have a missing foundation. So how do you know a candidate is strong enough to build on? And that's the PATS 5 test. First, it's got to be distinctive. It's got to highlight what makes you different, not what every other nonprofit says. It's got to be memorable. A real person can repeat it without notes. It needs to be evidence-based. You got to back it up with concrete examples, not just adjectives. It needs to be relevant to the people you're speaking to on the audience and what they care about. And it needs to be authentic. It's got to be true right now, not aspirational. And here's the discipline that almost everyone skips. Test your pillars on real stakeholders before you commit. A pillar that sounds perfect in a conference room but confuses your actual donor isn't a pillar, it's a wish. That's the whole selection process in one move. Go wide with 8 to 12 candidates, apply those 5 tests ruthlessly, and then test finalists on real humans. Now, choosing good pillars is only half the job. Keeping them intact is where most organizations slip. Here are 5 mistakes to watch for. 1. Perfect messages nobody uses. You spend months on building a beautiful platform and it lives in a folder that no one opens. Practical beats perfect. If people can't remember it, it isn't working. Number 2, different messages for different audiences. You build one story for donors, another for volunteers, and they start to contradict each other. Adapt your tone and emphasis, never your core message or your core claims. Number 3, static messages in a changing organization. You write them once and never revisit. Put a 30-minute pillar check-in on your calendar every quarter. 4, the humble deflection. You're so modest about your impact that no one can tell why you deserve support. Every claim gets buried under qualifications. Confidence isn't arrogance. If a student raised her GPA by 1.2 points, say so. Then let her story show what it means. And 5, building pillars with no stakeholder input. Written entirely by staff in a conference room, they sound right internally and land flat everywhere else. Bring participants and donor into the room. Their words are the best material you can use. So back to Michael. His team did this work. They built their 4 pillars, one clear power statement, consistent language across everyone. Their next campaign raised 40% more. Same programs, same budget. Funders could finally understand why it mattered. And that's the shift you got to be asking. So don't ask, what should I say? But start asking, does this reinforce one of our pillars? Everything downstream gets easier when you do. So this week, run Michael's experiment. Ask 5 people to describe your mission, listen to the gaps, and start drafting your 3 to 4 pillars against those 5 tests. The full frameworks I discussed, the 5 qualities, the pillar selection workshop, and the 4-level message platforms it feeds, is in Chapter 12 of the Nonprofit Marketing Excellence book. And there's a complete write-up in this week's post at movementum.com. And if you want to see where your own marketing stands, take the free Movementum Marketing Scorecard link below. It scores you across all 5 of the marketing pillars: movement, market, message, media, and mechanics. And it takes only about 10 minutes. So if this video is helpful, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you next week.